Ladies and gents, running a multi-7-figure-a-year online operation with 11 full-time employees can get a little stressful. Now, meditation is one of my favorite tools in my arsenal to combat this. I've been an avid meditator for the past 6 years, everything from Kundalini meditation to Vipassana meditation. I've tried it. The only thing that I've ever been missing is some sort of metrics to back up the quality of my meditation sessions. Now, one could argue that you could simply go off of your intuition, and especially for something like meditation, that could, make sense. But I know from running a business, optimizing my sleep, optimizing my health, that sometimes your intuition and how you feel things are going sometimes can be a far cry from what's actually happening. Now, one could argue that you could simply use intuition, and especially for, say, something like meditation, there's a fair point to be made there. But I know that from running a business, optimizing my health, optimizing my sleep, that sometimes your intuition can be a far cry from the cold, hard data. Now, this is where the Muse S comes in. Now, I was actually on a check-in call with one of my clients at the agency, and he actually informed me that there was a new Muse headband out. And I'll be honest, initially, didn't really pique my interest at all. I'd seen the difference between the Muse 1 and the Muse 2, and it was marginal. But when I saw what they did with this new Muse S headband, I ordered it straight away and I knew that I had to have it. Now, I actually had the original Muse headband. Since then, I've given it to a friend, and last year, 2019, the first 6 months, I was really in a place of monk mode, both with work, personally, my health. Everything was really dialed in and optimized, and I used it for the first 6 months of last year without fail every single day. The issue is when the summer rolled around and I got a little bit more lax and lenient with my schedule, you have those core things, those sort of non-negotiables that never leave your life. And meditation is one of those, but I actually found myself picking up the original Muse less and less every day. As I said, I just found myself opting for just a regular untracked meditation session rather than, fiddling and trying to set up the original Muse and this and that. You see, the old one would have a lot of connection issues. And sometimes, especially when you're about to start meditating, you want to be in a peaceful Zen place. And when it keeps losing connection, it's one of the most frustrating things ever. And then net, a lot of times it actually ended up doing more damage than it did good. Now, with the Muse S, I find that connection is never an issue, and I never actually lose connection mid-session. Now, one of the biggest benefits of the Muse S is its sheer comfort, to be honest, especially in relation to the Muse 1 and the Muse 2. This headband actually, feels like a headband rather than the original Muse 1 and 2, which felt more like some weird medical grade contraption. One of the awesome things that means is I can crush a 45 to 60 minute meditation session with this, whereas the original Muse, honestly, I could use it for my 10, maybe 20-minute sessions, but after that, I would notice they would start to feel quite uncomfortable, whereas this just sits comfortably on there, and as I said, I can crush a 1-hour meditation session easily with this thing. So getting set up with a session is pretty easy. You turn it on, you connect it to your phone, and you actually clip it around your neck like this, and then slide it up, and you can see right here, it just sits comfortably in the middle of your forehead, and you still look ridiculous, but I think you actually look a little less ridiculous than the other one. And I've yet to travel with this. Obviously, with everything that's going on in the world, I haven't been doing too much of that recently. But last year, I did a lot of traveling, and I always found myself not taking the Muse meditation headband with me. Whereas this, I'd be very comfortable, even sitting on a plane. If you've got this around your head, genuinely, yes, this little front bit looks a bit funny, but it genuinely just looks like you've got, I don't know, some sort of headband on that maybe has a head warming feature or stuff like that. What? It just doesn't look as preposterous as the Muse 1 and the Muse 2 do. Now, it takes around 30 seconds once you turn it on and it connects to actually calibrate, and I actually use that as an opportunity to light an incense stick. That's one other thing to mention. I would notice that even if there was any motion while it was in the calibrating phase with the Muse 1 and the Muse 2, it would just go haywire. The calibration would stop. Whereas with this, while I'm in that calibration phase, I can easily light an incense stick and it doesn't freak the device out too much. So that's a big benefit to me. So as I said, I turn it on while it's calibrating, I light an incense stick, and then I'm pretty much good to go with my meditation session. Now, one of the biggest selling points with the Muse, actually any of the Muse headbands in their ecosystem, is real-time feedback. And funnily enough, I actually don't use the headband in that capacity. In fact, I have all of the volume controls. So The way it works is it will give you real-time feedback with a whole myriad of different sound packs they have. So for example, rain will signify that you're overthinking and you need to calm your mind. Birds signifies that you have a calm, still mind. So it'll actually give you a breakdown of active, neutral, and calm, and how much time you spend in those different states. And at the end, it'll give you a score, basically what percentage of calm time you had. So when I got the previous version of this, for the first month or two, I had the noise control and the real-time feedback set up. And you just get to a point with your meditation where you just want a bit of peace and quiet, and you don't necessarily want the birds chirping and the rainfall and this and that. And that's fine, to be honest. So now at this point, I literally only use it just to track my meditation sessions and just get a little bit of a barometer for where I'm at, how calm and still my mind is. And in the same way that you might use a sleep tracking device, or maybe you might use an Apple Watch for your runs, it gives you a good barometer and a good read after the activity of like, how'd you do, ways you could have been better, maybe why, and then you can start thinking back and think about other variables in your life as to why your performance wasn't as good as you wanted it to be. As I said, each to their own. I find that the birds, which is technically a good thing, almost jinx it for me. I'm like, oh great, my mind's calm now, and then it just, as I said, it almost jinxes it. Now let's talk about price, because I paid £300 for this headband. Now at this stage in my life, for me to spend £300, even if this turned out to be total garbage, was worth it for me as a business owner, as I said, who has to be in peak performance, both physically, mentally, in every capacity of my life, to function at the level that I function at, to operate the businesses that I have. But for your average meditator, £300 is a lot of money, to be honest. And look, just to be very straight up with you, I think for your average meditator, it's not really worth it. It's great. It almost, especially if you actually do use the birds and the real-time feedback, that it's kind of like having a meditation coach, which I've had in the past, where they will veer you in the right direction and whatnot. But £300 is a lot of money, as I said, for just your average meditator. So I can definitely see the benefits. As I said, it's very motivating because anytime, it's like when you buy workout clothes. When you buy workout clothes, of course you're going to be motivated to go use your new workout clothes. Or when you buy maybe a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, of course you're going to be motivated to then go for a run and actually use these items. Or same thing with a sleep tracker. Now you want to improve your sleep and see those scores go up. That's the exact same thing with getting this headband. You're going to be motivated to actually meditate and see your calm percentage and the amount of time that you're meditating every day go up and up. That said, there are much cheaper / even free ways of getting involved with meditation. Just look up free guided meditations on YouTube. You can get free trials to things like Calm and Headspace. And yes, you may not get the real-time feedback or even just the post meditation feedback that you get from an actual EEG reader like this, granted. But I think especially if you're trying to develop the habit, maybe even just do this for 30 days, use Headspace as an example. And then if you can complete 30 days without fail of that, then maybe motivate yourself and go, if I can do that for 30 days, then I'll reward myself with a Muse meditation headband at the end of it. So as I said, for your average meditator or someone who's trying to get into meditation, I don't think this item is worth it. Who is it worth it for? People like me, business owners, people who have to be at peak performance and don't mind coughing up £300 to make sure that they're at that place. Or, just biohackers. I mean, anyone who's a big biohacker, and I know biohackers love to spend, there's no budget on their toys and what they geek out on. So maybe someone like that. Or the last sort of category I would say is anyone who is thinking of getting either the original Muse or the Muse 2. I think this is like an extra £100. Please just cough up that money, because this is, this is a quantum leap in terms of quality from the Muse 1 and the Muse 2 to now the Muse S. Ladies and gents, that is my honest review of the Muse S meditation headband. It is leaps and bounds ahead of the Muse 1 and the Muse 2, and it is an awesome EEG reader made for a very niche specific person, in my opinion. And for most people, coughing up £300 for a EEG reader like this, I don't think is worth it. But for the people that it is an invaluable tool. And as I said, especially since I've upgraded to the Muse S, I use this thing literally every single day. It's so comfortable. It's so easy to set up. I never have connectivity issues, and I'm so impressed with Muse and the improvement that they made from version 1 and version 2 all the way to this. So I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you are new to the channel and you're interested in biohacking, entrepreneurship, how to start an online business from scratch, and that is some of the wisdom I share in my videos from actively running one of the most highly coveted online advertising agencies in the world. So if you haven't already, definitely go hit that subscribe button. And as always, ladies and gents, down below you will find the Gadzhi giveaway winner. Every single video I give away a piece of apparel from Gadzhi, my bespoke clothing line. All you have to do to be drawn in to win is subscribe, turn on post notifications, and comment within the first 2 hours of the latest video going live. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.